the final 10 games of animal pattern qualifying are defending world champion E.J. Tackett's last chance to make a cut at the World Series.
It's a terrible feeling to have bowled so well here for 2 years in a row and then come in this year and not score my best.
Tackett enters round 1 on Scorpion outside the overall World Championship cut and not having made it to match play on any of the other patterns.
I'm going to have to go out and I know I'm going to have a good day. Not only to try to get in a cut for this pattern, but also for the World Championships.
A 234 average in round 1 wasn't good enough to crack the top 16 on Scorpion with 5 to play, but did move Tackett inside the World Championship cut. Qualifying was dominated by Arturo Quintero, who averaged 252 to lead all players.
I've been bowling like so-so, and I just try to have a good day like my last day.
The closest contender to Quintero was Matt McNeil, trying to make his first animal pattern cut of the World Series.
Trying to hit the pocket a lot and make spares, using a lot of different releases from pair to pair. They played quite different, just depending on your follow.
Also looking to make his first cut was B.J. Moore, who rolled 1,212 in his opening round to put himself into 5th.
I feel like I've been bowling okay so far this week, but it just hasn't been great. Last year I was able to keep it a little more in front of me, which is something I like to do, you know, especially as I'm starting to chase it in, just kind of tumble it forward. This whole week I've actually had to kind of steer it away from me, and you know, just getting them through the pins the right way has been a battle.
Bill O'Neill, trying to make his second match play round of the World Series, rolled 1198 to set him up for the final 5 games. Dom Barrett started well, including a 277 in Game 2.
First game I actually thought lanes were hooking a little bit more than I expected, so I pulled down into Logics, and then the next Game 2 I was following Tom Smallwood, a couple of other guys, Nathan Ball, Chris Okaro, kind of hooking it a little bit more than what we were doing the first pair, so I big forward the first frame, then I balled up, moved left, and it worked out pretty well that game.
Jason Belmonte, trying to make his third match play round, was 16th after 5 games.
Using a stronger ball, trying to get my hand a little bit more behind it, kind of blend out the pattern a bit more.
The only perfect game in round 1 belonged to Ramon Hilferink, who sat 25th at the break. With Mitch Beasley, Francois Lavoie, and an absent Mike Wolf failing to make match play in their events, Tommy Jones was the lone remaining animal pattern champion with a chance to defend his title.
Hardest thing this year is trying to get your ball to go through the pins, because you can get kind of sidetracked trying to know you can hit the pocket with a bunch of different balls and getting the right one to go through the pins. If it doesn't go through the pins, you try to make it go through the pins, and you can leave a couple designs and stuff like that, and then you bowl 180, and that's like shooting 140.
Jones opened the day with an 1196 block, good enough for 8th at the halfway point.
The biggest part is the qualifying. Cut from 195 to 16 is the hardest part.
With both the Scorpion and World Championship cuts about to be made, Mookie Betts added even more intrigue to round 2 of qualifying. The Major League Baseball All-Star entered the 10th frame of Game 2 with the first 9 strikes.
The natural talent coming through. Boston Red Sox outfielder Mookie Betts on the precipice of perfection. 300 game for Mookie Betts.
I'm much more comfortable at the bottom of the 9th, in that situation. After I threw the first ball in the 10th, I got kind of turned around and saw everybody kind of crowd around. I was pretty nervous.
Bowling with Betts was defending champion Tommy Jones, who couldn't keep up the pace he set in round 1, missing the cut and guaranteeing a non-repeat champion in all 4 animal pattern events. There was one other perfect game during round 2, and it belonged to Stu Williams, who qualified for match play in 8th place. Just behind Williams was Tackett, who bowled exactly 7 pins better than his morning block, passing several players and seeding himself into the bracket. Quintero scored 100 pins lower than his morning block, but nobody could catch him, and he led the way into match play.
I play with the same ball, so no rules exist, make the work for me. Team Mac gave me that ball today, and I'm really, really happy.
Making his first cut of the World Series was DEVIN BIDWELL, who rolled a strong second block to qualify second.
Stay in the moment, keep making decent shots, keep putting the ball in the pocket, that's all I can do.
A huge block from Zeke Bate moved him to 6th. Other players making their first cut to the World Series: Sean Maldonado, Brian LeClaire, Brandon Novak, and Kyle Sherman, who posted the second highest evening block out of anybody to get to 5th. The biggest block of the night was Kyle Troops. He rolled 1242 to qualify on the number. A clutch 255 in the final game clinched pro video gamer Ray Lussier's spot in match play.
Last game, the heads got a little dry, so I just stayed ahead and move. I moved like I think it was 7 left on my first ball, and it ended up being a perfect move. At a very high level, there's a lot of similarities when it comes to the mental game, and I think that's something that helped me out today. Like, for example, not looking at the scores, like it didn't really mean anything to me. I just step on my game and just make the best shot I could, and it's kind of the same thing when you play video games at a high level, because there's the level of play is so similar between the teams. It's really about who performs at the time.
Jesper Svensson, the only player to have qualified for each of the 3 previous match play rounds, fell 32 pins short, but he maintained his lead in the World Championship.
This block could have been a lot worse than it came down to, so I'm really happy with my finish. 2 big games to end up with, so whatever is going to happen now, I don't know about the cut number or anything, but at least I'm going to go into tomorrow with a positive feeling, so it feels very good.
Subscribe to the PBA YouTube channel and come back tomorrow for a look at Scorpion Championship match play.